Hello, Miss Taline.
Hello.
Thanks for coming in today. I'm excited to go over these scores with you, and that way we can discuss the progress of the zine.
Thank you
Please have
for
a seat.
explaining to me.
Please have a seat. Would you care for a tea while we have our meeting?
Not right now, thank you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. It's there for you whenever you're ready. Azine's a pleasure to have in class, just to let you know. She's a very bright student. We enjoy having her, and all the other kids in class are taking on to her great. They want to learn more about the Arabic culture from her and find out different ways to speak to her in Arabic. So I appreciate having her in our classroom. This right here is for you. This is going to be the access for ELLs, but it's written in Arabic, so it kind of gives you a little bit of a breakdown of what we're doing here. This test is going to help you and I to better help Azine in the future on having her English language proficiency come up. So we're going to be able to build on what she has now and develop it for the future. So if you want to take a look at this, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for printing this out for me.
Oh, you're welcome, ma'am. So we'll get into the actual test. So this is the Access for ELLs 2.0. She took this one in the 4th grade. She'll take these every year to assess where her English is at. And eventually won't have to take these anymore because she'll be proficient enough to be done with them. So right here is the tier. So the tier level is going to basically tell you on what test she took. So there's 3 of them. There's an A, a B, and a C for these tests. The A is the lower level of questions for the test, and the B and C are the higher level of questions for tests. So it's very good that she took this level of test. It shows that she's advanced enough where she's not having to take the easier question tests. Down here is going to be the different ways that she was tested. So this is the language of speaking, reading, and writing scores for her, the domain scores, and the composite scores are the oral language literacy, comprehension, and overall. So we'll get into those after I explain to you, like the proficiency level. So there's 2 different ways that the scores are scaled or shown to say. So we have a proficiency level of how she is doing currently at the moment. And then we have the scale scores, which shows how we are going to determine on how she goes in the future. So we'll be able to look back at the scale score and say, well, she scored a 368 on the listening part, and next year she scored 400. So that's a difference of 32. So she had a 32-point growth. The brackets kind of determine on what she could, if she takes this test again, on where she could be at. So like if she has a bad day, it would be within this range, or if she had a really exceptional day, it would be within this range. So getting into the listening portion of her language assessment, she scored a 4.0 in the proficiency. It's scaled from 1 to 6, so she's doing excellent in her listening. Her speaking, she scored a 2.0, which is lower than her listening skills, but a lot of times it's found out that students coming from another country, they're able to hear and comprehend the information a lot quicker than they are able to speak the information. Her reading was a 3.4, so she's not too far away she's 0.6 away from going up to the next level. So the levels are expanding, emerging, developing, and the writing is also a developing level. So she's at 3.5. So she's right there in the middle. So we're going to do everything we can to actually bring her up. So we're going to bring up her speaking, and the way that we can do that is in small group situations, peer to peer. It's a little bit easier for the students to talk to each other and for her to open up to talk to another student. And then whenever I ask her questions, I'm going to give her questions that's a little bit easier for her to format sentences. And I'm going to give her the time to actually think before she actually speaks. So I'm not going to disregard her for not coming up with the question or the answer right away from the question. All of her scale scores are fairly well. They're right in the middle. Even her speaking, 320, 356, 355. So this will be something that we have to look on in the future to see where that growth is going to be. And I have every confidence that we're going to build that growth this year in class. This is her oral language score. They're broken down on how she took the test. So 50% of it was reading and 50% of it was speaking, and she scored a 3.2. So it's the same as this domain one here with the proficiency level. So the 3.2, she's right in the middle. She's in the developing stage still, and she's going to get ready to emerge to the next level, which with changing my instructions to make sure that she's able to use her oral language properly in class, be able to speak and use her voice. Give her that practice that she needs. Literacy was a 3.5, which is good. She's only 5.5 away from entering the expanding level. That was doing reading and writing. So she's doing well in communicating through reading and writing. She's able to read and comprehend what's going on in class. Comprehension is reading and listening of those scores, and she scored a 3.7, which is almost close to her listening score of a 4.0. So she's only 3 points away basically from hitting that 4, and we're going to get her there this year with her reading and listening, because you know that she can listen well already, and her reading score is a 3.4 up here. We'll bring that up. Her overall score comes to has reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and she scored a 3.4. She's still in the developing stage, which we both know that that's where she's at right now. We're going to be able to bring that up by certain things in class, by having her practice writing in English, speaking with other students, doing peer-to-peer work. We'll be able to bring up her overall score because we're going to actually develop those skills for her to be able to come out and speak and use her language, not just listen and read it.
Okay.
Down here is basically breaking down the listening, speaking, reading, and writing. It's because if you look here, the proficiency level is a 4. The speaking is a 2. The reading is a 3. And the writing is a 3. So the same as what we just looked up here. But this is going to let you know what she can do. What we're seeing that she's capable of doing in class currently. So right here, understands oral language and English related to speak topics in school and can participate in class discussion. So she's able to listen and comprehend what's going on in the classroom very well. The issue that would be going into the speaking, but she's still doing great, is that her sentences are very short. And we already know that. We're going to work on that, and we're going to bring up her vocabulary and allow her to be able to have that voice in the classroom, be able to speak for herself. Reading is a 3. She understands written language related to common topics in the school and can participate in classroom discussion. So we already know that she's able to communicate in the classroom discussion, just very limited right now with her verbal skills, but she's able to read and pick it up very well already in the classroom. So she's able to communicate with other students through her, the other students are able to communicate with her through reading what's going on, and she's able to read the text and comprehend it, which is very good. Writing, communicate in writing in English using language related to common topics in the school. So she's able to write out what she's thinking fairly well at this point. She still needs growth. She needs to increase her vocabulary, and with having things up on the board for her to have constant vocabulary words, learning new words, that will only going to increase her writing ability. So the more that we practice, the better she'll be. And with all this, it's a teamwork effort. We're going to have to work together on ensuring that she's going to develop to that next level. But I have every confidence that she'll be able to. Is there any questions on the top part here with the proficiency level or the scale scores?
No, you explained it very well.
Okay, and what about her can-dos, ma'am? Do you have any questions about that?
No, I understand what she can do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome, ma'am. All right. If that's... Would you like your tea to go then, since you didn't drink it, ma'am?
I will take tea with me.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Well, let me escort you to the office, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for explaining everything to me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, ma'am. You have a great day.